So DeFi Kingdoms didn't do things exactly the way I would have done them. So now I'm pissed off. And we have more to talk about today on Is It a Bullish Sunday? Let's get things started. All right. So, how is everybody doing this Sunday? I hope y'all can hear me good. If not, please let me know. So, a lot's been going on inside the kingdoms lately. And yes, there is some things that they pissed me off with. So we do have a bullish meter and we have some topics to talk about. So let's get the happiness out of the way. So, is everybody ready for another bullish meter? I know I'm excited and I'm hoping to start to do a lot more of these, start to get this more of a regular thing again. So let's see, who do we got here in the chat? Of course, we got the man, King. And we have Skiller. How y'all doing? Good to see you here. So, before we get started, I have to shill one of my favorite projects, and that's Donate Live. So, right now, I do have a reward pool of 1 USDT. The link should be in the description and also pinned in the chat. So, go ahead and claim that 1 USDT if you have not already. And, guys, as always, look into Donate Live. It's a great project. It's a way to give back to your favorite creators. It's also a way to earn as you watch. It works both ways. So, what do we have on the bullish meter today? Can anyone guess what one of the topics might be? I want to hear in chat. Give me some guesses what one of the topics could be about. Looking for some guesses. We got no guesses. That's probably because you're all doing something else and just listening in the background. Of course, it only says we got 2 people in here, so it's probably just Skiller and King. Oh, man, I done screwed that shit up. I do that all the time. Nerfs. That is one of the topics. Traits. That is one of the topics. So far, we have 2 correct answers. The first topic would be PvP. Now, how did we not guess PvP? I figured everyone was going to be throwing out PvP. So now, as we all know, it's not a full PvP release yet, but it is going to be a release. So now is what I want as far as if you guys are bullish or bearish. And remember, it's a -5 to a +5 on that, is based on the playability. Do you like the style and the way it's played right now? Now we're going to have tournaments and all that other good stuff coming, and we will rate those as they come. But right now, the way I see PvP and the way I want to rate it, and now remember, guys, I am not much of a combat player. I'm more into the building and crafting and all that. So for me to give this a bullish rating means I think it's awesome for the project overall that we have PvP so close and how I think overall the playability is of it. So with that said, I am going to right now, I am only going to give it a 3. I would have loved to give it more, but for my style of gameplay, it's not quite there. But remember, I'm not that type of game player. So me giving it a 3 is not that great. Now, I want to know what you guys give it because most of you guys that are in the community that tune into these streams are combat players. So King gave it a 4. What other ratings are we going to get out of this? Looks like we got 8 people watching now. So we should be able to get some ratings here. So far, let's get Kings in there. We will give it a 4 for King. Hey, EHD, how's it going? And Skiller gives it a 4. Well, I thought Skiller was going to throw a 5 at that. I thought he was having a blast with it. But Skiller's probably waiting for some real gameplay out there. He's probably getting more excited about the tournaments. But Skiller's also not a gamer too, I guess, huh? So looks like we only got 2 ratings in here so far. I think it's a lot of fun. And I mean, a lot of people might not be, I mean, I don't know. I guess a lot of people are. I have seen a lot of people talking about it, but the graphics, with the different traits and the different graphics of the traits, I know we could probably put that under traits and not PvP, but still, the fact that they're kind of releasing at the same time as PvP, I put it in there. They put a lot of work into that. They did some pretty cool graphics on there. I really like it. So, on the same PvP topic, what do you think of the ADFK tournament that's going to happen this weekend? And I guess you want to call it the beta release of PvP. How excited is everybody for that? That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to start watching that next weekend. There's going to be so much content I'm going to have to watch. I don't think I've watched all the content from just the content creators yet. It's going to be exciting. So no one else wants to chime in on PvP? I guess PvP doesn't get a whole lot of excitement after all. Just Skiller and King. Let me make sure I get Skiller's in there. Skiller gave it a 4 also. Oh, I put the 4 over there. That's funny. I put the 4 on me. So, all right. So let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is a revisit topic. Oops, I done moved everything. So Expedition. So now that Expedition's been out for a while, what is your guys' overall rating on Expeditions? I think Expeditions is great, but it's not complete, so I can't give it a perfect score yet. Yeah, I agree. That's a good point, Skiller. So it isn't done yet, so we don't really know what the final project's gonna be. Lots of ideas to get. Yeah, King, you're doing a lot of study and watching them guys play, huh? So King already gave the revisit of Expeditions of 5. So anybody have any thoughts on Expeditions? I'm giving it a 4. It's not quite a 5 for me yet, but I'm still learning different ways to manipulate it to make it work the way I want it to work. So, I can't quite put it up there yet, but I mean, it should be exciting. I can't wait to really fully explore it. I haven't had the time to really mess with it, but you know, I just really wanted to revisit it because I wanted to know if you guys have decided you don't like it or do like it. I am finding the cost is getting a little high. It's not, it doesn't quite save as much money as we were hoping it would, but then again, I'm also spending them on 100 iterations. So King gave it a 5. Did I put your score in there, King? Yeah, I did. So it's like we don't have too many people tuned in right now. So yeah, I really want to do them later. It's just the time didn't fit in today to do the stream later. So all right, nobody really wants to chime in on that, so we'll leave. We'll let King decide that one. So Skiller wants to give it a 5 too. Skiller must not really be at his computer. He must be listening in the background or something. So both King and Skiller gave it a 5, which is giving him a good average. Now let's go into traits. So now traits, I was really hoping for a lot more engagement here, but we're not going to get a whole lot with only 8 people watching. So traits, what do we think about traits now that we've been able to play with them and explore them and stuff? Now, I know there's some bugs that are going on and stuff like that. They're still working on some things. So let's assume all of the traits are working the way they're intended to be. So J Dub's in the house. J Dubs throws a 5 in there. So yeah. So traits, my thoughts on traits. I can't say any more how excited I am about traits and how much more complexity it gives to the game. Now, I'm looking at it more as a builder with traits. That adds that many more things that I can use to build better heroes and stuff like that. And also gives me more diversity of the type of heroes I can build. So as a builder, that's what excites me is the fact that all that's available. And Skiller gave it a 5. Jeremy gave it a 5. We got some people chiming in here. King gives it a 5. So we got to add 2 more 5s in here. We got some people showing up now. We got some people that are showing up that aren't lurking. I'm a lurker, so I can't say a whole lot. But yeah, traits, I think they're working. Once they get the bugs fixed, I think they're working pretty much perfect in the way they all expected. And yes, I do think traits slap. So remember, guys, I always leave one slot open for you guys to come up with the topic. Is there anything else about traits that you guys want to discuss or want my opinion on? I know these are kind of topics that have been probably discussed over and over again on everybody's streams. I'm kind of late to the party, I guess. I didn't do a whole lot of streaming while you guys were doing all that PvP stuff. I figured you all had enough to watch. You didn't want to hear from me, especially when this next topic I'm going to be going off on. I don't know if you guys can read that or not, but do we got any more votes on traits before we go into the next topic? So the next topic, and this is what upset me, and they did this a way I would not have done it. So buffing the boar hunts. I look at it as separate from buffing the rock box. And let me explain why. So I gave traits a 4, and I am giving buffing the rock box a -5 just because I got to follow the rules. Otherwise, I'd give it a -100. So let's talk about that. So why am I so upset that they that they buffed the boars? So the DeFi Kingdoms team, they're very smart. They're not stupid. Okay. Just because I have a different opinion does not mean DFK is a piece of crap. But one thing that we always talk about is how complicated DeFi Kingdoms is for new players. Okay, so not that boar hunts was ever that simple for new players, but with that said, it was something for them to do and for them to learn on. And it was basically the only PvE content that we have for new players. So why do we want to make it harder? What was the point behind making it harder? Now, from my understanding, they felt with traits it made it easier. Well, yes, it made it easier for us that are already playing and already know the game. What's up, Sergeant? But for a new player, with it the way it was already hard enough to understand the game. Make it even harder makes it even harder for them. Now, granted, a new player would not know the difference because they didn't play it before. But they should have just, in my opinion, just left it alone and let the players play the game and let them learn it without adding more difficulty to it. Now, I 100% agree with buffing the rock box because the rock box are that next level. So with what we have, our level of difficulty is the boars, then the rock box, and soon PvP. So buff the rock box to make up for the traits. I get that. But then you're going to buff the boars. I disagree with that. Keep it as easy as possible for new players. Now, a lot of people say not a lot of people, but some people say, stop nerfing the archers. I agree with nerfing the archers because now we're talking about PvP and we need to balance things. So that makes sense. That's balancing things. But to buff the boars is not a balancing thing. It doesn't really gain anything. And all of us, all the players that are already playing and can already beat the boars. So maybe it added a couple more losses to their daily average. It did not really change the drop rates. It didn't change any of that. Is all it did was make it a little bit more difficult for new players. And all of us keep saying we need to make it easier and easier for new players. Well, that's not making it easier and easier for new players. I'm not sure if I got my point across. Let me know if you guys understand what I'm saying. And also, they say they're so focused on PvP, they don't have time to do anything else, except for they went and buffed the boars. But, they probably have different people doing different things. So I want to know your guys' thoughts. Am I over exaggerating this? Am I thinking too much about it? I just don't see the point of doing it. Maybe it's because I'm biased because I have a bunch of new people that I'm getting ready to bring in. I don't know. But yeah, that really upset me. I just my opinion, I still think our number one focus needs to be on beginner content. And don't misunderstand me. I am completely excited about PvP coming out. So, Sergeant Filthy McNasty says I'm not wrong. I get it. So, question, is it frustrating you guys as much as it frustrates me? So, if you have points to make your points. If not, let me know what your bullish or bearish thoughts are. -5, +5, 0. How do you guys What do you guys think? Skiller 100% agrees. I just It really upset me when they said that. And for the people that have been playing it, it's not that big a deal. It was a minor adjustment. Just get used to it. Maybe adjust your heroes a little bit. You know, it just it's more the new players that I'm worried about. So Ermi gives it a 0. So he's pretty much neutral on it. And, I might be biased because I got the whole scholarship thing going and I got to teach these people, or not me, King has to teach them traits. So King's a +3. You like the fact that they buffed him, huh, King? J Dubs got dropped. We're talking about making the game harder for new players by buffing the boar hunts. So that's the quick take on how I feel about it. They never should have buffed the boars. So King likes the fact that they made it harder, even though he's the one that's got to teach them. Yeah, J Dubs, I agree for the players that are already playing, that boar hunts is still easy. But do you think it's easy for new players? That's what we're constantly talking about, is bringing new players into the game. All right, so Poison Blade and Blinding Wind does most of the work. That J Dubs, I agree if you're aware of how that all works. So J Dubs thinks it's good for new players. We get more abilities and more animations. All right, so J Dubs thinks I'm going crazy. Even King thinks I'm a little off here. He wants to give it a 2. So he's excited about buffing the boars. So maybe it's because I'm not a combat player that it hit me more than it's hitting a lot of you guys. Maybe that's the difference because I suck at combat. Yes, I do hunts, J-dubs. Not nearly as much as most of you guys do. I'd say maybe 5 a week, and I did go play it, and now I already knew all the basic abilities, so adding in traits was not that much more difficult for me in order to win. But again, I'm looking at it as someone that's already been playing them for a long time. I'm trying to imagine if I'm a new player going to play, and that little bit of a difference might actually make it different. But with all you guys thinking totally different than me, maybe I'm overthinking it. But I don't I get the rock box buffing those because that is the next level, but I think the boars could have been left alone and just left as not I don't want to say simpler, but a simple game. I think I think I think hunts are easy, but I agree that new players will have a hard time with floor level 10 heroes without equipment. Yes, Skiller. That's another part of my point is, it raises that investment cost for new players. Now, on the other hand, and I will kind of argue against myself a little bit. I think the majority of the new players that we will be having coming into the game in the near future will be for PvP play, which pretty much mutes the whole boar hunt situation. But I still think they would like to have something to do when they're not playing PvP or something to do to learn the game. So you kind of go both ways with that. I For me, I just don't see the point of why we had to mess with them. Was it that important that we had to make them harder? Was the community asking for it to become harder? Or did they do it just to try and balance the fact that they did the traits? My speculation is they just did it to balance the fact that they did the traits or added the traits. And plus, they're always trying to make archers worthless, which that's just a joke. I really don't think that's what their goals are to make the archers worthless. So, any other thoughts? You know, Maybe you guys changed my opinion a little bit. I will change mine to a 4. Oop, not a 4, a -4. You guys have changed my opinion a little bit there. Oh, what am I doing here? Don't know what I'm doing. Enforce. Some sort of scrub hunt option should hopefully be a priority if they are hoping PvP is going to bring in a new crowd. Yes, Ben Force, that's what I've been preaching for a long time, that the scrub hunts are so important. Even with PvP coming out, they still need a beginner type I'm back. I think traits help, but I rarely concern some effects and chances, hit effects and traits of the traits. Yeah. MD, sir, why early? What do you mean, MD? All right, guys, I have to try and figure this out before everything dies here. So if I lose you, I'm sorry, but I got to get the truck started or I'm going to completely die. So anybody else want to chime in here with the rating? MD, he gives it a 5. Also, they nerf the archer, makes hunts harder by itself. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's kind of bad because I do think they needed to nerf the archer more, but it did make hunts harder. So it's kind of a back and forth. So, I think they needed to nerf the archers for PvP, but it did make hunts harder. So, can I join the scholarship? We'll be sending out more details on that here soon, MD. Also, if you haven't yet, go back and check my the stream we did with King talking about the guild updates and all that. Sometime the blinding wind and days don't hit at all, but I have good stats of luck. 0, it's just a balance play. Yeah, I mean, I agree that it was a balance play, but I think it was an unnecessary balance play. So, also, guys, keep in mind, I'm looking for a topic that you guys want to chime in on. If not, I have a topic that I would like to hear you guys' input on, but it's not really fair to put it on a bullish meter. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit before we guys get into your topics. So let me know what topics you guys want. In the meantime, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on Zan's Meta Army starting up a scholarship program and your concerns or things that you're excited about what it might do for DeFi Kingdoms. So I kind of wanted to know your guys' feedback for 2 reasons. One, if you have a valid concern, I can adjust things within the scholarship and anything like that. How are you going to handle a scholarship program without the smart contracts? Well, J Dubs, I have one simple answer for you. It's kind of a 2-parter. KYC, so I can blackball them after they screw me, and just accept the fact that I am going to lose some heroes from people stealing them. So honestly, the beginning teams and the beginning wallet build that I build for them is not going to be that valuable anyways. So if they run off with it, I'm screwed. And something that I kind of want to mention, and I'm not trying to say anything negative or positive to anybody, but a lot of these streamers out here probably give away more value in heroes and whatnot than I'll probably lose in scholars running away with my heroes. Just saying. I think it's great. More players is good. Yeah, I think more players is going to bring more eyes to the game. which is going to bring more hype to the game, which will bring more people to the game. Just, I think it'll be a never-ending loop of, adding players to the game. Now, I don't think just me adding players with what I got is going to make a huge difference. Now, if I would get off my lazy ass and actually spend some time trying to get a hold of the people over there at the Holiday Wallet team, I have a fairly simple solution to where a lot more people could build scholarships and not have to worry about losing their assets. But I just got to figure out how to get a hold of them and explain it to them. It's something a lot of other wallets do. So I imagine it can be implemented into their wallet pretty easy. Try to showcase on the PH guys and help the community to grow. Yeah, and I think we could also get some good content creators out there, give them some scholarships, and they can start doing some content for us also. So now remember, guys, I am looking for another topic that you guys want to talk about. If not, I have one that we can use. I just thought of, and I can't believe I didn't think of it earlier. So I'll give you guys a few more minutes to come up with one. Well, this stream's kind of going fast. We're already at 38 minutes, though. So right now, where we at? You guys are adding 3 points to it, and I'm adding 2 points, or percent, I guess, not points. How do we nerf Skiller's Archer more? Oh, that's easy. We just make a tournament that doesn't allow whatever his, you're not allowed to have archers that have over 20 luck or 19 luck or, no archers allowed to compete that have over 10 luck. There we go. Nerfing is dumb. Buff other classes. I've played some games that have done that. They buffed and kept buffing and kept buffing and kept buffing other classes to dominate over other classes. Worked great at the beginning, but once it got to a point, then it just got outrageous. And I'm all for balancing things. Don't misunderstand me just because I think they should have left boars alone. That I don't think they should balance things. Because I 100% agree with them nerfing the archers. My only thing is my few thousand archers that I'm building up for scholars, might end up being nerfed too much and a wizard might come in and dominate. Then I got to do it all over again with wizards. But I never knew what nerfing was until archers got nerfed. All right, Skiller, I think that's the first time I truly believe that you are not a gamer. You have just made your point that you're not a gamer if you never knew what nerfing was. Because people say I'm not a gamer and I knew what nerfing was. Well, I don't know what I'm doing here. I got all kinds of lost. No, my archer. King's got some pretty good, for some of the common archers that I've been sending King, common archers I seem to be able to build stats for better on common archers than I am on rare archers. I don't know what it is with leveling commons. They level so much better than rares. Might just be my luck, but man, I get a rare archer and I can't get stats for shit. Got a common, I'm running 10 and 11 all the way. All right. The hell is this? Oh, it's saying my Facebook's all messed up. Well, anyways, so since you all didn't come up with the topic, I got one for you. DFK community putting together tournaments on the fly. And I got to say, these tournaments that they're coming up with are pretty good. So I'm giving it a +4 on that one. And I don't care what y'all say. I still think nerfing the boars was a mistake. And I'm sticking to that. So King wants to give it a 5. King's giving it a 5 just because Mythic Squad's helping him out to go beat ADFK. I think King's going to leave me for the Mythic Squad. He's getting very buddy over there with those guys. Skiller gives it a 5. I think between Skiller and B, they're winning King over. That's all right. Like I said before, we love all the guilds. But just wait. It's going to be a bloodbath here soon. So, what do you guys, any comments on what you guys think about the tournaments? ADFK's got a pretty good one. Is there any other ones out there going on that I don't know of outside of ADFK? Such a small but proactive community. Bodes well for the future. 5. Can't agree more, Ben Force. I think, I know people might disagree with me, and I really don't effing care. But in all communities out there, the DFK community is the best. Hands down. That's a fact, not an opinion. Just saying. And if anyone disagrees with me, show me some proof of other communities being better than DFK's community. Skiller 100% agrees. So, yeah, do you guys know of any other tournaments going on besides what ADFK is doing? I know Kong was talking about one, but I think he's talking about the ADFK one, the one he was talking about. So, I wonder now that we think about it. So you guys mentioned nerfing Skiller's Archer. So do you think, and I'm not picking on Skiller's Archer. Remember how they said they're going to have some filters in the tournaments that are going to be based on your overall stat score rating? Do you think that'll cause some of the heroes out there like Skiller's Archer to be eliminated from joining in on some of these tournaments. Because, you know, I thought that was kind of cool that they did that, trying to even out the playing field. But I just wonder how much that's going to be used, and if building that strong of a hero is going to end up hurting that hero's value because now it can't enter any tournaments. I'm going to have to ponder that one, run that one through the gray matter for a while. So anyone else want to chime in on the community and give some ratings there? Last one I got was Skillers 5. And I don't see anybody else chiming in there. So outside of that, J Dubs wants to give it a 5. Outside of that, is there any other topics you guys want to talk about? King gave it a 5. I thought I already gave you your rating, King. Yeah, here's right up here. King's wanting to vote twice. All right. Well, if we don't get any more votes, where did that leave us on this? We should have climbed up again some more. Well, I'm going to have to organize this to make this a little bit easier. So that gave me, I'm still ahead of you guys by quite a bit, a 69 and a 67. Well, I might as well be a 68%. So what that guys give you? You guys gave it a plus 4%, and I only gave it a plus 2%. You spent the resources and time to build great heroes. Through the bear market, you deserve to reap the rewards moving forward. 100% Ben Force. I agree with that. A lot of us spent a lot of time throughout this bear market spending our, well, didn't start out as pennies, but kind of became pennies building these heroes. You know, but forget about just, the money spent. It's the time spent, I mean, look at those guys over there in the Mythic squad, like Beeve and those guys that spent all that time learning how to mutate those traits and all that stuff, and all that time just burning heroes. And I'm sure it's not just them, it's a lot of people out there. And now that they figured it all out, these new players going to come in, and all these tricks and stuff that to do it with is already there. Now they have to start from scratch and build, from the ground up. But, the people that put in the time and continue to figure it out through the bear market, I definitely think are going to end up making out in this once things turn around and we start getting mass adoption and all that. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. And I don't think we're that far out, because I think once they start getting PvP going and start getting all that going, they will start working on the scrub hunts. And once the scrub hunts or scrub battles or whatever they're going to call them is out, I think that's when the floodgates are going to open. And then they got, travel coming and all that stuff. I mean, there's no way that DeFi Kingdoms isn't going to just keep going up and up. Kind of like my bullish meter is just going to go up and up and up. Lots of people are building. Mythic Squad is just very loud about it. That is true, Skiller. Mythic Squad is the loudest people out there. And that's why no matter what, every AMA, the team has to talk about the Mythic Squad. We all know Mythic Squad's a DeFi Kingdom devs' favorite guild. They can deny it all they want, but we know that's where they're all favors of. You might as well just consider them all part of the DFK or the Mythic Squad. Ben Force, who is Mythic Squad? Yeah, I want to hear that a lot more, Ben Force. We'll have to make that a tagline. Who's the Mythic Squad? I like the Mythic Squad. When I talk crap about them, it's all in good humor. I got nothing against those guys. But all right, well, I am thinking if nobody else has got nothing to add, we might just end this here. Anyone else got anything they want to talk about? Want to just talk crap about the Mythic Squad the rest of the video? You know, who we got in here? We only got Skiller in here. He can take it. He's not a gamer. Oh, yeah, we got King in here, too. I forget he's Mythic Squad. Just kidding. King's my man. He's part of ZMA Guild. So, all right, guys. Well, I do really appreciate you guys for watching, listening to me bitch about them buffing the boars. Still can't believe that was even a thing that they had to do. But let's leave it here. And as always, guys, do not forget to keep moving forward.